What's up again, people? Man, I just had to make another video here. I had to share my experience last night. It was just so damn awesome. And I uploaded those videos this morning from the Excision concert, and I laughed when I was watching videos online. People uploaded, like, you can't capture that kind of bass, especially not on even a camera or a phone. But when I was there, the light show was just so damn amazing, I had to share it. And so I ended up filming, a few parts of it. But the visuals that were put on at that show were just amazing. But one of the things that really got me was that, yes, it's just a DJ. Yes, he's just up there mixing sounds, and, a lot of people say that's not music, He's just pushing buttons. And I'm a musician, okay? I can play the drum kit, I can play bass, I play guitar. I played in a band with my brother a couple times, and when I was younger with my other buddies. And I respect musicians, I respect music and the talent it takes to make music, but I don't let it stop at the instruments that we had when I was, synthesizers weren't around when I was a kid, but I don't let it stop at the old-fashioned instruments, the old trap kit, bass, guitar, singing. We seem to have attached a label to what music is, and so the old-timers would say, this new stuff, And I didn't want to be that guy ever. So when electronic art came on the scene, like back in the early '90s, I started getting into stuff like the Propeller Heads and the Chemical Brothers and stuff like that, and I loved it. Nobody else I knew liked it. But I know what I like. I don't deny myself what I like. And I'll go straight to I like the song "Toxic" by Britney Spears. Everybody laughs at me and that's the perfect example of a song that I do like. There's a new one all about that bass. I think it's Megan Trainor. It's just something I heard randomly, and it's some old beat that's been overused and overplayed, way overplayed type of song. But I like it because it moves me, and it brings back and invokes emotions that are from songs that are related to that or have similar beat structures. Which brings me to the point of my video. Techno is misunderstood by so many people as just being garbage, person pushing buttons. But there is so much involved in making a damn good beat. And there was no such thing as a drop when I was a kid, when techno first came out. I guess there was, but I don't recall anybody calling it a drop specifically. But there was always a point in the song where it would be a build-up, and then one drop, and then usually the song would play out. But now, each song, and this is what I noticed last night when I was at the show, he had two opening bands. One was Figure, and he's this guy that plays like horror movie-based like DJ stuff. It's pretty cool, based on movies, Friday the 13th and Halloween and stuff like that. And then another guy called Bear Grylls with a Z, and he wears a bear costume. I wasn't very impressed with Bear Grylls or really the other guy, honestly. I heard Figure was really good, but the thing I noticed when I was sitting there pondering, and I thought, when I was having these almost psychedelic like revelations, watching the crowd and waiting and seeing the reaction of people, and every time it would drop, boom, everybody go, yeah, big cheer. And I'm up on the balcony, I'm sitting there with my beer. I was looking around, and I was literally the oldest guy in probably the whole show. I saw one other dude that looked like he was about 50, but he had a nice button-up shirt and stuff, and he just didn't look like he actually had paid to go to the show. He was just watching curiously. So maybe he knew somebody, maybe I'm wrong, I don't, but the point is that the kids of today, everything's changed. They're all dressed up in totally different style clothes, like the girls wearing mini skirts when I was a kid, and now they're in pantsuits and those, crazy lacy things. The guys were wearing funky tall hats when I was a kid. Now they're wearing the dog ears and stuff like that. And it's just different, and I totally embrace it, and I love it. I love watching it, But my point is that when the drop hits, that's what everybody's waiting for. Everyone's waiting for the drop every time. So the music, rather than becoming more, I mean, it's becoming more diverse with different sounds, but really what everybody's after is that drop. Boom! You know? And the sound effects that come out in techno are, you know, I know I'm sitting here like philosophy of techno here, but, you know, I really like, you know, electronic music. And I'm one of my only friends that do. So I don't know anybody else to talk about this stuff, but when I was there and watching people and seeing, one of the things I realized last year at SOAT, which is the Burning Man here, I was laying in my tent, and my buddy and I split a 10 strip of some really good acid, and I was tripping pretty hard, and I was watching these fire spinners and thinking of how, you know, back in the day it was the stupid sticks people would go up and down, or hacky sack, you know, and now it's like fire sticks, and, you know, things are growing and it's awesome to watch. But watching the DJ across the way play and all the people dancing, I realized what everyone was waiting for, not just the drops, but the sound effects that are brought out can bring out the emotion in a person. There has been so much music over the past 50 years that you can throw one little guitar riff sample into a mix and it will invoke the emotion that comes from that. For example, last night Excision did a couple, like one line from, was it Jump in the Fire, I think, or Kill 'Em, off of Kill 'Em All from Metallica. I totally forgot about that until just then. But instantly it invokes that emotion of hardcore, and I realized over watching all these bands and you know, listening to all this different music, you're trying to invoke a specific emotion and then move to another emotion without having to wait forever for the next chorus so you can sing along. So I'm not comparing it to music that I grew up with. I'm saying it's an easy transition for me. I don't have to, like, you know, some of it's noise, some of it's a little too much. And even Excision, I'm not a huge fan of all this stuff. Some of it's just like, you know, but when you're there at the show and the bass is shaking, literally shaking the dust out of the cracks in the ceiling, and you're just like, whole head is shaking, and you're just, I mean, I was jumping the whole time. I haven't spent that much energy at a show in a really long time. Maybe not ever. The whole time I was jumping around, and I felt totally at home with that style of music. So I guess maybe I'm only doing this video as kind of a props from someone my age to the kids of today to say, yeah, you know, I understand that the music, you know, that a lot of my generation and the older generation look at it like garbage. They just can't stand it, you know. They don't even know what dubstep is, you know, and now it's even beyond dubstep. I mean, it's moved into whatever the hell. You can't call it anything anymore. You can't label it. And I know that it's still kind of a trendy scene. There's always going to be trendy parts of the scene. There's always going to be kids out there that are trying to freaking make it, you know, make themselves look cool and bring their egos into it. But for the most part, most of the kids are way cool. You know, most of the people I've met in the scenes, festival scene, at least locally here, are pretty cool. So it's an interesting thing to embrace. If you're an old schooler like me that liked the Dead and went to maybe Fish shows, or, you know, I'm going to see Dark Star Orchestra in a couple of months, and Papadosio next month, and they're, you know, Papadosio is a pretty good jam band. I'm open to a lot of different kinds of music, and they all trigger me in different ways. So don't be a music snob. Just love music for what it is, you know. Embrace it and get the most out of it. Dig it. Groove to it. I don't know what I'd do without music in my life. And I don't know, you know, I'd rather not grow up in the good old days. I want to grow up to today, because I'm really happy to be able to grow up through the music I did, still have the 60s music, but grow up in the 80s and 90s, and now be able to move on into the new generations. There's a lot of garbage out there, don't get me wrong, but the good music's still there. You just got to sort through a little deeper.